Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, it is very, very dark. It's super gloomy. Not the most ideal day to be recording something, but these videos are super realistic. I think I kind of proved that in last week's video, so I hope you don't mind, and I hope you're cool with being pretty chill, laid back in this what I eat in a day video. If you've been on my channel before, you might notice that my hair looks a little different. You are not crazy. I did retouch it because it was starting to get a little bit blonde again, and this color that I picked is a lot darker than what I previously was using. So it looks like, I don't know what it looks like, but it's more of like a smoky kind of color. I'm assuming in a couple weeks time it'll look a little bit lighter, but I kind of like it. I don't know. I am back on my toast. So excited to be back on my toast after a week hiatus. Is that the word? Yeah. And I am happy to report that my tofu egg salad is tasting exactly how it's supposed to taste. It's amazing, it's delicious, and I have it on the Wegmans organic sourdough miche, or miche sourdough. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. As always, the recipe is in my description box. I've noticed that that is my top searched recipe on my blog, so I feel like I'm doing this recipe justice by constantly sharing it here on YouTube, and I'm glad. And let me know if you like the recipe, because it is my top searched recipe on theconsciousroot.com, so let me know what you think. Got my big cup of water. I will say though, despite it still being pretty gloomy and consistently so, I am feeling a lot more motivated this week. I think it's mostly because I started using a brand new planner this week, and I'm just such a highly organized person that without that planner, I was waiting for it in the mail for a few weeks. I felt very lost. Now that I've written everything out and I have a nice visual for what I want to work on this year, I am feeling so much better. I don't know, it's working wonders for me. Anyway, don't have too much going on today aside from this video, recording this video. I also have a really long meeting later, so I'm mentally preparing for that, but I'm gonna enjoy this toast and just revel in the fact that it's tasting the way it's supposed to this week. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, that is covered in last week's video if you want to check it out, but yeah. It's coffee time, having what I had last week, which is the Wonderground Hocus Pocus coffee. It's the coffee that is infused with mushroom. This one has reishi and chaga. I was gifted this, so thank you, Wonderground. Oh, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this in last week's video, but if you want like to save some money and try this out, it's really good. Does not taste like it has mushroom in it at all. I will put a link, a discount code thing in the description box. But yeah, really good. The milk of choice is still the Malk brand. I really like this. It's the oat one. I like it more than the almond one that they had. The almond one was sort of like separating when I put it into my coffee, whether it was cold or hot. But this one does not do that. Love that it tells me what temperature I'm at. That says 150. It's gonna go down. It's gonna get a lot colder when I add in the milk. Now it's at 138. I have been setting my app. By the way, this is the Ember Mug. I've been setting the Ember Mug app to 136 degrees. If anybody was interested in the temperature that I like my beverage. Right now it's actually at 130 because I put in cold milk. I haven't even been taking the extra step to heat up my milk because this thing warms it up anyway, so takes out an extra step. Cup has been made. It is slowly creeping up to the 136 that I need. I will talk to you later. Hello again. It is lunchtime. I'm excited to have something. I am really hungry for some reason. And surprise, surprise, I do not have takeout today. I actually have to make something. So I know exactly what I want. I have this bread here that I got from Whole Foods. It is a sesame Kaiser roll. So I got these rolls because later on this week I'm going to be making some lentil sloppy joes, but we have extra. This has been sitting on the countertop. I usually put bread in the freezer so that it lasts a really long time, but since it's sitting on the countertop, I'm kind of worried that the extra rolls are gonna go bad. So I wanna use it up, long story short, and I'm gonna make a sandwich. So I am going for the classic New York City deli kind of sandwich. Not a bacon, egg, and cheese or anything like that, but I used to eat a lot of cold cut sandwiches when I was younger. It was probably 99% of my meals going to school and stuff because my mom didn't really have much time to cook like unique meals every single day, so it was usually the default for us to go to a deli and just pick up a cold cut sandwich for me for lunch when I'm going to school, stuff like that. So that's what I'm gonna do right now with one of these rolls. And I'm very excited because it's super nostalgic to me, obviously, but this is what the bun looks like. Nice and fluffy. And then the details for the actual sandwich. Sorry if my head was just cut off the whole time. But I am going to use some vegan deli slices. This is the F.A.Q brand. I believe it's the oven roasted variety flavor. It basically just tastes like turkey to me, or like cold cut turkey. And then I have some Miyoko's cultured vegan cheese. This is the farmhouse cheddar. This one is actually pretty good, especially in a sandwich like this where everything is staying cold. I don't think I've ever melted this before, but really good. And I would typically add lettuce to this, but I finished all of our lettuce, so I'm going to add, for like a veg, a little bit of a crunch, some pickles. This is from Trader Joe's. It's the sweet and spicy pickled chips and onions. This is super, super good. It's been sitting in my fridge for so long, and I tried it recently. So good. I don't know why I stopped using it. And then I have homemade mayo. This is the vegan mayo that I made a few weeks ago that I mentioned in another video. Still have a bunch of it, so homemade mayo it is. Okay, y'all, I have assembled my sandwich. This is what it looks like. Doesn't look fancy at all. I'm really wishing I had lettuce right now, but I am sure this is going to taste good. It just looks really good. There's so much bread. Like, can you see the bread to filling ratio? So I would highly recommend, if you have a bread that's like really large like this, to really up it up when it comes to fillings, but also your sauce. So I put vegan mayo on both sides of my bread to make sure that I can actually taste the sauce and it's enough to go against this massive piece of bread. But it's really good. It is super nostalgic. Just reminds me of those days where I would get a deli sandwich just about every single day for lunch. Those F.A.Q slices, to me, they taste like, especially in this sandwich, it tastes like the deli slices of turkey that you get at any deli, especially with everything else. Like, the combination of it is like spot on. That's exactly what I remember. And the cheese, the Miyoko's farmhouse cheddar cheese. I think that that cheese tastes best when it is in a cold sandwich. Sometimes Miyoko's cheeses are hit and miss because some of them need to be cold and some of them need to be like hot or melted through. This one is one that needs to be cold, I think. It just tastes super good. It reminds me of like a really sharp cheddar that you get in a cold cut sandwich, so highly recommend. Like I said, the bread is from Whole Foods, and then the vegan mayo. By the way, if you're curious about the vegan mayo recipe, that is from Miyoko's first book. It's basically a book of a bunch of staples that she created. I'm gonna enjoy this nostalgic sandwich and I'll check back in with you later. Wow, suddenly it's super bright. I really quickly wanted to come on to share that I'll be having this, what is it called, a navel orange? It is citrus season, y'all. Get yourself an orange or some sort of citrus. And I have a really long meeting. It's like a 2-hour meeting, so this is gonna time me over until dinner time. Hey again, I am actually coming on a little bit early because I want to basically tell you what dinner is gonna be all about. I liked last week's video where I recorded this beforehand and then I sort of just used this clip and had the B-roll over me talking so that you can see what I'm talking about instead of using like a voiceover with like a microphone. Let me know if you prefer that or not. I can definitely go back to the way that I was doing it. But basically for dinner, I'm gonna be making a crispy salt and pepper tofu. The recipe is going to be from Veganomicon, which I have been using this book so often because there's fantastic recipes in it And if you didn't know, if you're a New Yorker, Veganomicon is written by the person that owns Modern Love in Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm gonna be using that recipe. I am going to tweak it a little bit, so instead of actually frying it, I'm going to bake it in the oven and then toss it in that salt and pepper sauce. On the side of that tofu recipe, I'm going to be making a noodle dish, and I'm gonna be using some hand-pulled noodles. That's what it's called, if you've ever wondered what these squiggly noodles are called. I'm pretty sure they're called hand-pulled or hand-torn noodles. You can get them at Asian grocery stores. I have never ever seen these noodles in a regular grocery store, so you've got to make that extra trip, but it's so worth it. I love these noodles. They just hold so much flavor, and so I'm not going to make an intense sauce to go with it. It's going to be pretty simple. Just some sesame oil, garlic, sugar, sriracha, soy sauce. They're like really thick noodles, so I feel like putting a heavy sauce in it would be too much. So keeping that simple, pairing it with the tofu, and then I think I'm also going to toss in some bok choy into that same salt and pepper sauce. I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. It has all the flavors and textures and kinds of things that I personally love. That is all for this week's video. I hope that you like this video. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you in next week's video.